Beth, thanks so much. A life-changing diagnosis can't keep Pat Summitt down.
I plan to continue to be your coach.
We will have more reaction to Pat Summitt's stunning health announcement and what's next. That's coming up. Plus, an earthquake that rocked the East Coast is having an impact right here in East Tennessee. And a major retail chain confirms that months of rumors are true. Trader Joe's is coming to Knoxville.
10 News is brought to you in high definition exclusively by Harper Auto Square. You are watching WBIR TV, Channel 10, Knoxville. The news starts now.
Once I knew what I was dealing with, I think that's the unknown is what's scary.
Basketball legend Pat Summitt says she is ready to face her latest challenge head on. Good evening. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Robin Wilhoit. John Becker is off tonight. Of course, reaction is pouring in after Lady Vols head coach Pat Summitt announced she has been diagnosed with early-onset dementia. 10 Sports Director Steve Phillips joins us now with much more, and it is one of those things that you hear and it takes your breath away. It does.
It was just stunning. I'm sure her family and friends, close friends, felt the same way. Early this afternoon, we learned that doctors had diagnosed with Lady Vols head coach Pat Summitt with the type of dementia, Alzheimer's type. After talking with her local doctors, Summitt says she decided to visit the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota earlier this summer. She is 59 years old. Now, in a statement today, she says she will be coaching the Lady Vols, but will have some limitations because of her condition. She's taking a decreased role in coaching the Lady Vols in her 38th year with the team. As she prepares for the season following this diagnosis, Summitt will be leaning on her assistants.
And as far as I'm concerned, it's not gonna keep me from living my life. It's not gonna keep me from coaching. And as I said, I've got a great staff and great support system, and so I'm gonna stick my neck out and do what I always do. I feel fine. Once I knew what I was dealing with, I think that's the unknown is what's scary. But now knowing what I know, I'm going to do everything I can to keep my mind sharp.
Summitt became the head coach of the Tennessee women's basketball program 37 years ago, barely out of college herself. She quickly earned respect from coaches all over the country. In addition, she was a much sought-after motivational speaker, often spending much of her offseason traveling the country for speeches. Summitt's record, impressive. 1,075 wins, the most by any college coach. She's coached at the same school for 37 years, heading into season 38 this fall. 2 basketball facilities bear her name, the court at Thompson Bowling Arena and the gym at her alma mater, Tennessee Martin. Summitt trails only UCLA's John Wooden in national championships. He had 10. She's got 8. Lady Vols 15 SEC titles under Summitt. Never played an NCAA basketball women's tournament without the Lady Vols in their 29 years. Summitt said she will rely on her experienced staff. Holly Warlick played for some of Summitt's earliest teams in the late 70s, has been an assistant since 1985. She became associate head coach when Mickey DeMoss left to become head coach at Kentucky. DeMoss later at Texas before returning last year to Summitt's staff. And Dean Lockwood is in his 9th season with the Lady Vols. He was an assistant for Don DeVoe for the men's team from 1985 to 1991. Certainly she has a lot of support from that staff and a lot of experience as well.
And a lot of determination. You heard it in those sound bites.
Absolutely.
All right, Steve, thanks so much. We'll see you a little later.
Okay.
Well, several of Summitt's friends and former players offered up their support today. Chris Budden joins us now with more reaction to Coach Summitt's diagnosis. Chris.
Hi, Robin. Several colleagues and former players offered their support, including Lady Vol Athletic Director Joan Cronin, who said there was a bit of sadness, but that's now developed into determination.
Our first reaction was saddened, but then our next reaction is, it's Pat. And what's Pat going to do? She's going to fight it. She's determined. And the diagnosis is the early stages. And Pat's on great medicine. She's got great doctors. And as you know, she's got great determination. When you think about what does Pat Summitt stand for? She stands for courage. She stands for character. She stands for integrity and being honest. So when this was diagnosed, what did she say? I need to tell everybody what I'm battling, and they can help me.
Pat's son Tyler went with his mom to visit the Mayo Clinic back in May. That's when he said they got her final diagnosis.
I mean, we had local doctors, obviously. Rochester's a long way away. But as far as their diagnosis, we trust them. And with a spinal tap, that's about as close as you can get to a diagnosis.
Former Lady Vols assistant coach Nikki Caldwell gave her support today, saying, quote, "I've known Coach Summitt for 23 years and there has never been a fight she's backed down from. All of us who have played or coached under her leadership, we know that she will take this fight on like she does with every other task. She will do it with dignity, toughness, courage, and unwavering commitment." And one quick thing, Robin, fans may want to know, what will be the difference when they watch this team this year versus last year and her role on the team? Holly Warlick told me it will look a lot like last year. That's when she started giving up some of the responsibility to her assistants. So that's kind of a model for you as to what you will see on the sidelines next year at Lady Vols games.
But she will still be a force nonetheless. All right, thanks so much, Chris. Well, the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame inducted Summitt when it first opened back in 1999. Well, today, members of that organization expressed sadness and disbelief about the news. 10 News reporter Steve Butera joins us live from the Women's Hall of Fame with what leaders have to say about this news. Steve.
Well, Robin, the Women's Hall of Fame first heard about that diagnosis around 1 o'clock this afternoon through an email. They say it was almost random coming from the coach about this news, but at the same time, they've also expressed confidence that Pat Summitt will battle this disease here. Now, if you go over to the Hall of Fame, you will see several pieces of Pat Summitt memorabilia. That includes a basketball and a clipboard used during one of the NCAA championships. They call Summitt a part of the family here at the Hall of Fame.
Our first reaction, I think for everybody, was just shock. But reading through some of the statements that Pat's made, it made us feel better to know that she's handling this as strongly as she is.
Now, so far, there are no changes, no immediate changes to Summitt's memorabilia or her booth over at the Hall of Fame. And even though there is no official affiliation between the Hall of Fame and the University of Tennessee, the Hall of Fame, like many, is expressing their thoughts and prayers to Pat Summitt. Robin?
No doubt. All right, Steve, thank you. Well, the UT campus started buzzing with the news as soon as it came out. 10 News reporter Sean Dreyer joins us from campus with more and what students and faculty are saying once they learn this news. Sean?
Yeah, Robin, their reaction very similar to those throughout the community and the country as they learned. Shocked, disbelief, those types of words were thrown about whenever students were describing their reaction to hearing the news. Of course, Pat Summitt has been a constant here over the last few years in an athletic department that's seen lots of turnover. She's been here consistently and won consistently. Coach Summitt expects to be cutting down nets this upcoming season. That's what she said last night at McGee-Tyson Airport after greeting Glory Johnson and Shakina Strickland home from winning the gold medal in China. Students say they have high expectations for the coming season as well, and for the reaction that the UT family and the Knoxville community will give in supporting Coach Summitt as she received this diagnosis.
She just shows a lot of determination and shows that if you put a lot of drive and passion behind what you do, you can really succeed. And she's done a lot for the university over the years.
It's a shocker to see this kind of happen, but I don't have any doubts that the UT family and all of Knoxville and all of basketball is going to, rally around her just because of what she's stood for and, the icon that she is in the sport.
Robin, we'll have much more reaction from campus coming up tonight on Fox 43, 10 o'clock news and on the Night Beat.
All right, Sean, thanks so much. And there's another developing story in the sports world. We want to check in with Steve Phillips to get more on that. Steve?
Yeah, Robin, ESPN.com reporting the University of Tennessee will receive word tomorrow on the sanctions for violations committed by basketball and football programs. Rob Lewis of VolQuest.com is with me. And what have you heard so far about this,
essentially the same thing that ESPN is reporting, Steve, that Bruce Pearl is going to receive a multi-year show cause letter, which essentially will end his career as a college basketball coach for the foreseeable future. Also, the 3 assistant coaches have spoken with some former staff members. They expect to hear tomorrow. And the early word is that they're also going to probably receive some form of a show cause letter for a briefer time than Pearl. And maybe also a partial show cause. That's a little complicated. Probably won't get into that now, but less severe penalties than the head coach.
The show cause is basically NCAA speak for suspension, right? You can't work.
Makes it very difficult for you to be hired, to say the least.
The football and basketball programs both appeared before the Committee on Infractions. Any guess? At this point, we are guessing, by the way. Even though we know it's coming out tomorrow, we're not sure exactly what's going to happen, right?
I think that we'll hear about everything at once. and this is speculation, I would think that if Coach Pearl is getting hit that hard personally, that probably bodes well for the Tennessee basketball program moving forward. Speculation on my part, but I think it's fair to infer that. And as we've been here for a while now, it continues to look like the basketball program is going to bear the brunt of the punishment.
And Coach Pearl has not so far landing in another job that we know about. All three assistants, though, have.
All three assistants have. One locally, Tony Jones here at Alcoa High School, and Steve Forbes and Jason Shea are both working together at a junior college in Northwest Florida.
All right, Rob Lewis of VolQuest.com, thank you for your insights there. Robin, we'll be talking about it, sure, tomorrow.
No doubt about that. Steve, thanks so much. Turning now to another big story. A 5.8 earthquake struck northeast Virginia, triggering tremors felt all along the East Coast, including right here in East Tennessee. 10 News reporter Jennifer Meckles joins us now with more on that. Jenny?
Well, Robin, it happened just before 2 this afternoon, and soon after, we started getting reports from viewers who felt the trembles. The earthquake's epicenter is located north of Richmond, Virginia. It sparked evacuations all across Washington, D.C. and even New York City. Several injuries have been reported, but none of them are believed to be serious. Several buildings suffered some damage, including the National Cathedral. Many East Coast airports are still reporting some delays. Now, the quake is the largest recorded in Virginia since 1897. Most quakes occur where two tectonic plates rub together, but this afternoon scientists at UT noted this quake's location was unusual.
One of the 10% or less of earthquakes that occur on Earth that are intraplate quakes. So there was no plate boundary involved in this quake. This was in the middle of a plate, which is very unusual.
The Tennessee Valley Authority is inspecting several of its dams to see if they sustained any damage in the earthquake. A TVA spokesperson says the seismic monitoring station at the Tellico Dam registered the earthquake. Officials are wrapping up their inspections at 15 dams north and east of Knoxville to check for any potential damage. They include the Cherokee, Douglas, and Norris, as well as the impoundment dams at the Bull Run and John Sevier fossil plants. TVA says no damage has been found. Robin?
And as you said, lots of folks, though, they did feel it right here in East Tennessee. All right, Jenny, thanks so much. Well, today marks a big day in the growth plans of East Tennessee's Tourism Center. We're talking about Sevier County. 10 News reporter Anthony Welch has more on an auction and approval of a multi-million-dollar event center in Pigeon Forge. Anthony?
Robin, planning officials say the Parkway will always be the Parkway, but as of late, big plans in the works for Teaster Lane, just off the Smoky Mountain main drag.
Payable to Capmart Bank, a Utah industrial bank.
What the trustee says was valued at $28 million in 2007.
To appoint Common Corner to Tract 1 Parcel 2.
Goes to the highest bidder Tuesday at $4.1 million in an area of town with private and public investment flowing in.
As a city, we're looking at those things. We've made some planning decisions that hopefully will affect, affect planning and affect development in the future in those areas. So we're excited.
The Bell's Factory Outlet Mall is now property of CB Pigeon Forge LLC, a Delaware-based corporation with a local name.
Couldn't personally put a value on it, but I do think that that area is going to grow again.
Hours later, the Pigeon Forge Planning Commission approves plans for an event center just down the road from those outlet shops. In those plans, a 100,000 square foot meeting space with potential to draw some 10,000 visitors to events.
On an average weekend, Pigeon Forge probably accommodates 50 to 60,000 people.
While traffic could become an even bigger issue, reliance on trolleys and the impact of all those tourism dollars means there are worse things in the minds of those charged with planning growth in Sevier County as they move beyond the famed Parkway.
That's one area that we expect a lot of development in the future.
City officials also say they have every indication the new plans for Bell Island are still moving forward. Just last night, city commissioners approved a parking plan for what will be called Riverwalk Village. Robin.
All right, Anthony, thank you. Trader Joe's, a popular neighborhood grocery store in other parts of the country, will open its first location in Knoxville next year. That store will open in the Suburban Plaza Shopping Center on Kingston Pike. 10 News reporter Mary Goody speaks with business owners in that shopping center who are relocating so the new store can move in.
Maybe you've shopped at Trader Joe's in another city or heard of the unique selection that's offered. But if it's all new to you, you'll soon get to experience it for yourself right here in Knoxville. Trader Joe's says they're different from other grocery stores because they take a brand name product and make it their own. Officials say they remove preservatives and artificial ingredients and then sell it at a cheaper price. To fit the 13,000 square foot store into the suburban Plaza shopping center, current businesses are moving around to make room.
Like losing a home, but it's okay.
Suburban Barbershop has been in this same spot for the past 49 years, and Hoyt Van Estelle has worked there for 43. Now the shop is moving to the other side of the center.
We've just told everybody that's where we're going to be so they'll know where we're at.
And that's the same thing employees at White Lace and Promises are doing. They're located just across the lot from the Trader Joe's spot. And their building is being torn down so that Trader Joe's can be seen from Kingston Pike.
We know Trader Joe's is hugely popular and people are excited to hear it's coming in.
Amelia says they plan to move into their new space in the same shopping center at the end of October.
The location that we actually get to move to is larger. It's got more visibility from the roads.
Poole says she's happy about Trader Joe's being in the same shopping center because it can only bring in more people to the bridal shop. In West Knoxville, Mary Goody, 10 News.
Trader Joe's began in the Los Angeles area over 50 years ago. There are now more than 350 locations nationwide, including one in Nashville. Stay with us. Todd updates us on Hurricane Irene next.